The Atlanta Braves came away from the weekend with another series win, now an MLBS BBS 19-7, this time over the second best record in the league. The Cleveland Guardians came really close to a sweep if they can just score a run in the 10th inning in game 2, but you'll take 2 out of 3 all day and you wrap up an 11 out of 13 stretch, I believe most of which all came at home. So a really good stretch to start your season at Truist Park. There were 3 storylines that stood out. One, the top of this lineup. I mean, what in the hell? Matt Olson, Austin Riley. I know Riley got a hit. Looked like he should have had 2 home runs. The MLB has done something with the baseballs one again. It drives me crazy, but this is not just a Braves thing. This is a league-wide. We're seeing, once again, dead baseballs, and I question to see if we hear anything from the league on this, because it's going to become a bigger storyline, especially if it continues into the summer months. The second thing is the Braves starting pitching. I mean, for as everyone worried about Spencer Strider, I mean, Ronaldo Lopez, Chris Sale, Charlie Morton, Max Fried. I mean, unbelievable run from this guy. Bryce Elder, you can throw him in there as well. Wasn't amazing against the Guardians, but if you're going to get 2 runs of baseball against a team like the Guardians from your 5th starter, you're super happy. The third thing I want to talk about is A.J. Minter, who is now blossomed into this guy who he's really been this guy for the last 3 years. But I can't see a future without A.J. Minter on this baseball team. You went out and you signed Joe Jimenez and Pierce Johnson to $40 million combined in contracts. A.J. Minter by himself will probably cost a little bit more than that. But you went out and you tried to bolster your bullpen. I don't see how you don't go and make it. And this is the opposite of Max Fried. Like, this is a Southern boy. This is a guy who said he wants to be here. I know before the season there had been contract negotiations. I'm not sure what Alex Anthopoulos has to see more. He now leads the majors in wins with 5, which means he's on pace for 60, which is just insane. I'm dying for him to get into the double digits by the All-Star break, and we can track to him, try to get 20, because that would be a hilarious storyline. But this is the heart and soul. I mean, it has been the heart and soul of the Braves bullpen. You can throw him out there in any situation, particularly in the postseason. You need to pitch him at 5 through 7 innings. He's shown he can do it. You need him to start a game. He's shown you can do it in the NLCS. You need him to close the game. He can close the game. He's the heart and soul of this bullpen. And it seems like a no-brainer to get this thing done, because if he does reach free agency and he continues pitching as well as he is, which is a 1.32 ERA over 14 appearances or whatever it is, he's going to be a 60, 70, $80 million man in free agency. If you can lock him up a little bit less than that, I really don't see what the Braves are waiting for. He's just shown so much consistency from really 2020 through 2023. Heart and soul of your bullpen. Let's get this deal done.
Yeah, the stalwart almost of that group, which is kind of crazy to say because he is still so young. And I think it's non-negotiable to kind of keep A.J. Minter when you do go out and give Joe Jimenez and Pierce Johnson. Not to say those guys aren't lights out. They've been great this year as well. But A.J. Minter is a step above them. There's no arguing that. He's closer to a closer almost than he is a setup man. That's how good he's been over, like Chase said, this kind of 2-3 year stretch. And I do think that, when you look at a dollars to WAR perspective, it never makes the most sense, kind of pouring money into the bullpen until you really need them. It's that old adage, rather need it or have it and not need it than need it and not have it. That's what the bullpen is. And the Braves have seen it. That 2021 World Series run, the night shift, though they weren't great in the regular season, they were lights out in the postseason. And it's a huge reason why we won that World Series. When you can, the starter maybe doesn't give you the length that you were hopeful for. Well, we got guys that we can rely on. Don't worry, we'll pick you up. And especially for a Braves team that has seen starters struggle in the postseason. Max Fried, all love him. One of the best lefties on the planet. Not great in the postseason. Charlie Morton, though he's got nasty stuff, he's still 40 years old. What are you really going to give from him? Chris Sale, he has a World Series title. He's obviously got the pedigree. Is he going to be healthy? Like Bryce Elder's performance last year against the Phillies is the perfect example as to why you continue to bolster a bullpen if you're Atlanta. And A.J. Minter, I mean, I don't even know what a word is for like stalwart. He's the staple. He, like you said, he's the heart and soul. And he does feel like the quintessential Braves contract extension, that blue box popping up on a random Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fully expecting it, guys, and I'll call it. It's going to happen over the next month. I just don't see any way that he doesn't stay with the Braves.
But also, let me just say one more thing, and I'll throw it back to you. It's also not like, the Braves are just getting this sweetheart, or going to get this sweetheart deal. Like, the Braves stuck with, particularly Brian Snitker, stuck with A.J. Minter when he was struggling. Like, he has rewarded the organization, but the organization has stuck by A.J. Minter. It just feels like the perfect marriage that continues.
Yeah, and then you talk about, I mean, let's take results, war, whatever you want to say, take that all out. I mean, we've talked all the time about what makes the Braves, and you saw it again. I mean, even when guys struggling, you saw Kevin Pillar mention it. You wrote an article, go check it out, Sports Talk ATL. He said it was the most fun he's ever been being around a team. And guys like AJ Minter he's stepped into that leadership role in the bullpen. He's taken that over. He's the guy who said it's World Series or bust before the season. He's the guy who's kind of taken onus of, hey, there's no reason for us to be backing down to anyone. Very much like Spencer Strider did. I know he got injured, but that's what he was talking like. We saw Austin Riley do it a little bit. We've been asking guys to step up and take that responsibility. There's no doubt he's taken that responsibility as now the veteran piece, the longest standing member of the Atlanta Braves bullpen. And it's just, he checks all the boxes, right? Like, he's great on the field. He's great off the field. He's become a leader. He's blossomed. He's overcome adversity. He's done all this stuff as a member of the Atlanta Braves. And I know everyone wants to talk about Max Fried and how important he is to this team. And I know WAR is not going to reflect this, right, but I just believe AJ Minter is just, from clubhouse perspective, all the way down for what he offers on the field is as important as anyone in this Braves clubhouse. And it just seems like this is a deal. It just makes too much sense. Maybe he's holding their feet to the fire and knows that if he gets to free agency, he could be a $70 million man. And if that happens, that would suck. But it just feels like this is something that needs to happen.
Yeah, again, the impact off the field, it just feels like it's going to come way of a contract extension because, like you said, he is the heart and soul of this bullpen. Like, he is the longest standing member. Again, crazy to say because he is so young. He's just a guy that fits the Atlanta Braves, and he'll just be that staple in the bullpen for years to come.
Yeah, I hope it gets done. I called it that it's going to get done. That's my prediction over the next month or two. We're going to see that blue box, and it's going to feature AJ Minter in it, who signs a 5-year, $60 million contract to stay with the Braves.